what we have here is the President George II, the export radio, which I got from Moonraker. I very highly recommended company. So I made one little joking video about kind of teasing somebody about the film on these radios, and I got a lot of questions about this. So here's my review on the radio. So in the export mode, according to the specifications, it's 35 watts PEP single sideband, FM 35 watts, AM 12.5 watts. I never even bothered to check the limits of that because I use the variable RF and I run it at 1 watt. So it does have variable RF, which is very nice. According to the specs, I think with the AM and the sideband and the FM, they boast it's like 450 channels. Radio does have the ability to do a VFO mode or a channel mode. You can double press this button like so, it puts you on the zeros, and you can slip between the channels and use your clarifier. Not a big fan of it, but there are people that like it. It does have ASC on it. ASC maybe is fine if you got people in your car with you. But if you're going to be engaged in a practical QSO, I'm not a fan of it. But it does, kind of do its job. It's fine, whatever. It does have variable RF, which I mentioned, variable color display. As you can see down there, frequency readout. It has a digital S meter. It has your RF gain and also your RF out when you're talking. So, very, very good display. You get a lot of information there. It has PA, it has TalkBack. I only use TalkBack. I'm setting things up. Radio does have Vox. It also has a separate jack on the back for plugging in a microphone for Vox. If you wanted to have like a separate mic for that. It does have RF gain and mic gain. It has the A&L, the noise blanker, the high cut. I don't use the high cut. I'm going to come back to the NRC. It does have echo. I only use a very, very light amount of echo. It's just cracked open. Just enough to give me some depth to my voice. Key beep, Roger beep. The Roger beeps are kind of gimmicky or hokey, but whatever. Dual watch. I have it set so it displays voltage and SWR when I'm keyed up. It does do CT, CSS, and DPL. So in effect, I guess you could do repeaters with it, because it will cover the ham band. I mentioned the external Vox. It does have a USB jack, which I've tested. It does not introduce any noise into the signal. Initially, I thought that was kind of a gimmicky thing, but then I thought about it a little bit, and you go on a road trip with your family and people have devices plugged in. Another USB isn't the worst thing in the world. It does have the ability to do memory channels. So like if you hit memory, as you can see, you can hop around to different memory channels I have programmed. You can reprogram the emergency. So I took away channel 9. I put our local channel in there. It just gives me more memory channels. You can actually scan your memory channels, or you can just scan the band by channel. And there's functions you can say like carrier operated scan, or scan and stop and listen for a couple seconds and then keep going. So that's kind of a neat feature that it does. It does dual watch. The radio has a lot of functions, a lot of functionality. Very happy with it. Let's see, I covered everything kind of there. I'll circle back to the NRC. So currently, as you see the orange light, that means that's President's version of a DSP. So that means I have a DSP on transmit receive. It means the DSP is off. I believe this one means it's receive only. This means transmit only. And this means transmit receive. So on receive, it'll strip out white noise and any extraneous noise and just allow the voice to come through. I'll see if I can demonstrate that here towards the end of the video. On transmit, and we have tested this, it does remove road noise and it just allows the voice to come through. Some people would say, I tested the stock mic. While the stock mic is very good, people that I had spoken with that have a very good critical ear that I trust described it as a very kind of cheap, plasticky microphone with no acoustic treatment, and that does make it through onto the audio. I ended up using the President Digimic, and some of you would say, well, that's just not necessary. But what I found out is that the build quality of the microphone is much better, and it puts out an overall much fuller sound. Even though I'm not using the NRC circuit that's built into the President Digimic, I'm still using the mic and just using the NRC on transmit and receive. So I'm just not using the NRC function in the President Digimic. I am going to be doing some microphone experiment videos later with some audio clips. That's not going to be in this video, but that will be coming up. So to get to I've been running this radio for a couple weeks. My overall impressions of it is that President has done an excellent job at making this radio talk loud on AM and have sideband like a traditional amateur radio. The sideband on this radio is amazing. I'm going to try to show that to you in a minute. The FM is amazing. The AM is great. I think they really knocked it out of the park with an overall audio quality that is not fatiguing to the ears to listen to. The sideband, I've gotten great reports using it. I've had people comment, well, gee, it's a little pricey with shipping, and it's more than the President George 2 FCC. I don't know. I use my radio every day. I want stuff that I enjoy to operate. I enjoy to operate this radio. So that's kind of how I look at it. I didn't think it was that much money. My radio is currently mounted, but it's the chassis. It's an overall shorter chassis. I'm not going to get into this whole thing about the same board, but it's the same board dimensions as like the Strikers, but instead of having a much longer radio, they've shortened it up a little bit, and it's actually using like an aluminum, almost much like you'd see on a commercial Motorola radio. It's using like a solid cast aluminum chassis. So it's very good at heat dissipation. I like that they shorten the radio up instead of just having a bunch of empty space and using the same old chassis. So those are my kind of overall impressions of the radio. So let me see here if I can maybe get a little audio for you guys here so you guys can kind of hear it. Just bear with me for a minute. Find some sideband here. And the 111 guy. I'm going to put my microphone down there so you can hear it.
Right there, 229 in the mobile, Maryland. Hey, 73 to you there. Have yourself a great day. 226 West Texas, standby.
See if I can find some FM for you guys. I don't know.
283 Delaware.
It's the upper channels. Just see if there's anything there. There's a little bit. Let's see if we can find any FM for you guys. Sorry about the focus there. Oh, ASC. There we go. You'll have to take my word for it on the FM, guys. FM just sounds great. So, and I think you'll probably notice a lot of other people that are using this radio will say the same thing that I'm saying, is that even the FM on it is great. Everything is great. I think it's an excellent radio. The receive is great. It is not fatiguing to listen to. It does not drift on. I just don't know what more else to say about this radio, but it's a little bit more money, but I think it's worth every penny. So with that, I'm going to wrap up this report. Stay tuned for a report. I'm going to do some mic testing between the stock mic, the Digi mic, and maybe more traditional CB mic. So anyways, this is Radioman, and we are out.